So, Tony, tell me just what were you doing before you came to City Vision?
I've been a fireman. It's been 13 years now. I've been a fireman for the city of Hamilton in
Yeah,
Ohio. Before that, like before I came to City Vision, it was something I was just kind of interested in possibly getting a degree.
yeah,
It was something that I was kind of I guess thinking about doing it, or thought I wanted to finish out my degree. I'd started it years ago and just never completed it when I became a fireman.
yeah.
And I actually started out at another Christian college before come to City Vision, and I was kind of more along the lines of like I guess a theology degree, but that really wasn't what I was looking for. I'd come across City Vision through another friend, and I started looking at it. It was really right along the lines of what I wanted. The nonprofit administration and urban missions was something that interested me, and it was something I wasn't really seeing anywhere else necessarily in kind of an online education.
Yeah. Yeah, so you decided you wanted to kind of shift from being a fireman to the nonprofit sector. Um,
Actually,
and
I still do both. I'm still a fireman.
oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm still a fireman.
Awesome. So you're doing both. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. It's
And it
another full-time
yeah,
job. So
and it seems kind of cool because in both areas you're trying to rescue lives, right?
yeah,
So
yeah, trying to help people.
yeah. Um, so yeah, tell me a little more of, why did you decide to go with City Vision? It sounds like it was because it was more, focused on the nonprofit and practical. Was there any more that
Yeah, it
um
was it was affordable, which was very helpful. I have a family and two kids, and so to spend a lot of money on credit hours was going to be really tough, and it wasn't something I was necessarily looking to do for. I was using it for something I was doing as a volunteer, essentially, an organization we were running. So to spend a lot of money on it was gonna be tough. So it was very affordable. When I looked at some of the classes, I liked instead of like a textbook type course, it was more of a, you know, helping without hurting books. A lot of people that were working in those fields that were doing the things that I was kind of interested in doing. So instead of just learning from a textbook, you're kind of learning from some real world things. Then you got a lot of hands on too. A lot of the courses, you look at them and it kind of required you to go out and be in a rescue mission or go out and be in the community somewhere. So it was much more of a hands on, real world experience as opposed to just a textbook in a typical class.
yeah, yeah, cool. Now you helped start this nonprofit Made to Love, is that
Yes.
accurate? Yeah, so tell me a little bit about what you're doing there and also just what motivated you to do that.
Yeah, my wife and another friend of ours, Sherry. It's my wife, Kristen, and our friend Sherry. The three of us founded this in 2010. It started after I went on a missions trip to Haiti, building homes after the earthquake. Met this veterinarian who's working there as a missionary, and they do kind of a little bit of everything as missionaries. Um, Saw this big need for jobs and education, and didn't really know how we would kind of help. We thought we'd kind of maybe sponsor a child or do something like that. As we got back, started working on stuff, my wife and her friends started making shirts, selling them, and raising money that way. It kind of grew into this fair trade stuff where we started buying from artisans there in like 2012.
Hmm.
We started buying, just started with some jewelry.
Hmm.
And then every time we would go, we would see more art mediums that they did. They do stuff with metal work. And I'm actually here at the shop. So when we're done, I can kind of walk around and show you some of the stuff if
Okay.
you want.
Yeah, that would be great.
But like they would do stuff with metal art, like 55-gallon drums that they break down, and they make into these cool pieces of art. They do different jewelry. They recycle a lot. So it kind of has gradually over these 5-6 years kind of shifted in from something very small into something that our goal and our mission is to provide jobs. So we buy from artisans and we give a job by doing that. We're buying a piece of art from them that they wouldn't maybe be able to sell because there's really no outlet there. And then we sell those, and the profit we make on them goes back into our school programs that we do in Haiti. There's one school that we completely run everything at it, and then there's other students kind of in different places in Haiti that we support, from small to larger, sums of money, just depending on the need.
Yeah. Wow. That sounds pretty amazing. So you're helping get people trained, helping, get them an education, get them jobs, and then, helping create a market here in the US. So that
Yeah,
sounds that
yeah.
sounds
We
pretty
got about
awesome.
250 kids that we have in school right now.
Wow. Wow, that's
And
awesome.
200 at the one school that we support, and we employ about 5 or 6 teachers.
Yeah.
Um, and we provide all the books and the uniforms and everything for that school. And then we have some other kids through a direct sponsorship program. So we have families who sponsor kids directly in another village that we work in. Um, and then artist wise, we work with probably 20 artists directly, and then we work with like 3 or 4 other co-ops that employ hundreds of artists. So it's kind of, there's artists that we know particularly that we go see anytime we go to the Metal District or anything like that in Haiti, and then there are other ones where we know the people who run the organization and how they take care of their employees, and that they provide good jobs, with good pay, not just we've been to a lot of the places that we buy from, so we assure that they are good jobs.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, that's awesome. I had a similar experience where I traveled to South Africa and I saw a lot of the poverty there, and man, it just wrecks your heart, and then you're never the same again, right? And it sounds like that's what happened to you, and now you're making a big difference. So
Yeah, it started with something really small. We a couple $100 the first year, a couple $1,000, and every year we've pretty much doubled. Even
yeah,
this last year, we actually tripled. 2015
wow,
we tripled, and we opened up a shop in August where we actually have a downtown storefront in the
yeah,
city we
wow,
work in, and so it's really kind of started from something very small and very unexpected, and has
yeah,
grown into something that's kind of more taken over our lives in a lot of
yeah,
ways.
yeah. That's
All
awesome.
volunteers, so
Yeah,
it's my volunteer. It's what I do to volunteer. My wife and our friend Sherry. It's the three of us that really
yeah,
are the core volunteers, and we have other ones that help us out a lot too. So
yeah.
it's been pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Now, tell me how, the City Vision courses and the things that you've learned here, how's that helped prepare you for, some of what you're doing? I mean, I imagine that, you've been doing this before coming to City Vision, and then you're feeling the need for more tools. Tell me about some of the tools you picked up that have been helpful, and yeah.
Yeah, it gave us a lot of basic understanding of some things. I'm not an accountant,
Hmm.
and we're still working to like kind of get that stuff kind of at a higher level, like so working with an accountant because those are the people that are really skilled at. But it gave me some basic stuff and some ethical and moral things to like be watching out for with our finances and things because I kind of handle more the business aspect of it. I'm not really necessarily the
Hmm.
creative piece of what we're doing.
Hmm.
So it gave me a lot of tools there. I think a lot of the papers and things that I had to write, and the different grants and different things we had to work on through a lot of our classes, really made me a lot more articulate and made
Yeah,
me able to share the story better and get to go out. I've gotten to go out in the community and meet different people through different larger organizations and really get to tell about what we're doing, and that's helped us. We wrote a grant in when was that? Probably like April. I
hmm,
wrote like our it was a small grant through like a community development organization that we're members of, and we won a $2,500 grant, which
wow,
was
that's
kind
great.
of the first money I've ever felt like I really brought into the place because I'm
Yeah,
a creative person, and so um, to do that was really cool. And that ended up $2,500 ended up adding like two rooms onto the school we work at,
wow, that's
so
amazing.
we
So,
used that grant money to pay for that. So that was a huge benefit, and I got a lot of experience from that from doing the different courses. We didn't have any one course I guess that was just geared towards grant writing, but there were different courses where it was a piece of it, and you'd actually write even a small grant you'd
right,
write and get that experience, so you knew how to follow instructions on the grants and do the different little foundational pieces that
right.
that come with it. So a lot of the courses I did, and then like the urban missions side of it, really, while it doesn't maybe necessarily help us in Haiti, it kind of still does because it teaches us to try and build relationships and try to find worthwhile change, and not to just go in and try and take over where we're at. We're there trying to work with people, to provide them opportunities, not necessarily just go in and hand out a bunch of money. That's not our aim, and that doesn't really solve a lot of issues. So
Right. Yeah.
so there's 2 years worth of classes. So I'm trying to think of all the different things that I learned from it. But I think a lot of it as a whole really taught me a lot of different things that have help prepare us for where we're at now and kind of where we're going. It's showed us we kind of have to. It's hard to spend money out. It's hard to like spend some of the money that we bring in to kind of
Yeah.
keep the mission going forward. But
Right.
we found that there are some things that we need to invest in, like treating it like a business.
Right.
So
Yep.
because it is a business, and if the
Yeah.
business fails, the nonprofit fails with it.
Right.
So it's kind of taught us that it's hard to spend money on a website, but maybe spending that money on the websites important,
Right.
and
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's great. Well, a lot of people are, you're motivated by seeing the life change, but then there's all this logistical stuff and the nuts and bolts that has to happen. You got to get your 501c3
yeah,
nonprofit. You got to, get the accounting. You got to do the, write the grants. But, part of what I found is that's the fuel that you use to change lives. And, unless you have those resources, you can't really do it. So,
yeah,
yeah, that's great. Well, I really look forward to seeing, where you guys go in the long haul. We've had some of our students that, founded rescue missions, 10 or 15 years ago, and now they got, 15 staff and, things like that. So it'll be interesting to see where you guys go. Let me just ask, what advice would you have for anyone considering City Vision, both, as they're kind of evaluating, uh, schools or, if they become a student, how to get the most out of it?
I think really dive in to the work. There's a lot of things in there that like require you to, not just write papers, but to be active, like going out and taking the time to find a good organization to go work with. I was really lucky. There was a few organizations that were listed on the AGRM website that I could like access within like a half hour, 40 minutes of me, and to take advantage of those places and go and like really try to work there and serve there and learn from them the best you can. So that was the biggest thing for me. Was anytime I'd ever been in school, I really wasn't. I mean, I'd go to school and you'd go to school to get the grades and get it done.
Right,
With this school, I was really more motivated to like really be involved and really learn because it was something I really wanted to do. So it's
right,
take the time and find the passion that you want to do. Of the majors that are offered at City Vision, you find the one that really does, maybe make you tick or really makes you
right.
want to do it. And then when you find that, jump right in and start doing it, because you really do get a good chance to learn a lot. And it's not just simply, sitting at home and reading about it. You're actually getting to go out and get out and do it, with
Yeah,
people who know what they're doing and who are very good at what they're doing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's awesome. So, okay, well, thank you, Tony. This has been really helpful.